going to find out what Respite Night is for, because this is a brand new concept in our community at least, and I think it's going to provide a wonderful service to the families in the community that need it, and a wonderful opportunity to volunteer for people whose hearts are touched by this kind of special situation. So, Haley, do you want to start off and tell me what the idea of Respite Night is, and who is the respite for?
Sure. Respite Night is a night for families who have children with special needs. We know that sometimes parents need a night off, and a lot of parents are able to grab the high school neighbor down the street or something to babysit, but if your children have special needs, it might not be that simple. So we wanted to provide our respite night so that the parents could take a break, relax, have dinner, go on a date, or take a nap. And we would have the children in our care, and we would have trained volunteers so that the parents could know that their kids are in good hands.
Matt, would you like to help us with some information about the type of volunteers you're going to need? Because with the special young people that you're going to be taking care of at Respite Night, you're going to need some very special volunteers.
Yeah, absolutely. The volunteers that we look for and need with our Respite Nights is someone that can be active. Our Respite Nights are an active participation. You're running, you're chasing, you're keeping up with, you're playing ball, things like that. You're playing in bubbles, and so it needs to be a volunteer who's able to do that. So an older high school student, a college student, a younger, really any adult, but someone that can maintain that pace for several hours. And it's a fun night. It's enjoyable. It's safe. One of the things with our volunteers is that they need to pass a background check. We background check all of our volunteers. We want families to feel secure that their child is taken care of and that they are in a safe place. And that begins with the volunteers that we have helping. And so if someone would like to volunteer, they are going to need to pass a background check through the church that we do for everyone. So,
well, if it was my child in the program, I wouldn't want anything less.
Absolutely.
So if I'm a volunteer in the program, I wouldn't expect anything.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, Clint, can you tell us a little bit now about what the training is like? Sure. And do you have a meeting planned where folks could come in and get a feel for what it would be like to work in the program?
Yeah, sure. Of course, we want to have all of our volunteers trained to have interactions with these kids. There's so many different special needs that are out there that for us to just kind of blanket coverage of training is a little bit difficult. And so our training times are wide-ranging as far as talking about all of the different disabilities that they could encounter during the night, but we also make sure that they are paired up with a buddy, whoever their child is for that night. They get a paper that actually shows what their disability might be, what their special needs are, what different things are needed to be able to handle the night well. So our training times we do talk about what we're going to be doing that night, different times that will be in different places, and what to expect overall for the night. But as far as our training goes, it is a fun time because we get to talk about all of the different challenges that are there, and the ones that we have conquered in the past, the ones that we might face that are new, and just look at what the night is like overall, and the fun that we'll get to have together, and just the little details that you'll need to know. We always have a training night before our respite nights, and this one that we have coming up, it'll be on February 9th at 6 p.m. We'll just get together and talk through what the night looks like, and then answer any questions that might be able to come up during that time, and try to pair our volunteers up where they can best fit. Not everybody's a perfect fit with certain areas, so we want to make sure that our volunteers are where they're most gifted. And if we can do that well, then I think that helps our respite night overall really take off.
Our next respite night is going to be on Saturday, February 11th from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock at Crossroads Christian Church.
Yeah.
So all you families out there whose greatest blessing may also be the heaviest burden that you bear, keep in mind that this is an opportunity for you to refresh, take a little time for yourself, take a little time for the other children in the household. Get that deep breath, get refreshed, and get ready to pick that child back up at the end of the evening and go again.
Yeah.
So tell us how the idea came about. I love the idea.
We went to Grace Bible Church in Kansas City, Missouri. We had heard great things about their special needs ministry, and we knew that we wanted to start special needs ministry within our church, and we weren't sure how to do it.
Yeah.
And so we went to their church, and they invited us to come and to kind of shadow with them, and we actually got to sit in on their Respite Night training that they provided for their volunteers. And so while we were there, they told us about Respite Night and what it was, and just the big impact that it had made on their part of Kansas City, and we were really impressed with it. So we came back right away and wanted to start it here in Macon and the surrounding area.
Going kind of on what Haley said as far as that visit, even stepping back a little bit further than that, as a church, it's really our goal. It's kind of what we work towards is to connect our community together and to connect them to Jesus. And as a person who works to try to do that, Jesus hung out with people that a lot of other people didn't want to. And there are a lot of people right here in our own backyard that seem to be forgotten. And some of those are our special needs families. And so we can't sit and just let people be ignored in that realm. And so that was some of the beginning stages to get this off the ground, was we can't let these families be ignored. And we want them to know that you're not going to burden us. You're not going to wear us out in a couple hours, or whoever you bring, they are not going to wear us out. And so we don't want you to feel burdened or inconvenienced by bringing your child to the church for several hours. We want them to be there, and
that's one of the greatest way, I think, for some of these special programs and community efforts come about is through sharing ideas with other communities and with other groups. And because we can't always manage everything on our own, the partnering works out wonderfully.
Absolutely.
They can provide you some leadership as far as how do you train, how do you get started, and I would be willing to bet within a reasonable length of time there will be other churches around our area who may be coming and looking to you folks for guidance to start that in another community in the area.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, thinking about people that I know personally, families that I know that have the special needs children, and I know every one of us, and I know every one of you out there watching today also know families with special needs children. And you've seen their struggles with trying to have an opportunity to even go and take care of things that are necessary and have someone reliable that can provide care for that child while they have to be away. Much less have an evening where they can say, for 3 hours, I can just be me.
Yeah.
I can refresh, I can renew, and come back and help take care of that child with a new energy and a new light in my eye and a little boost in my step.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so many things that all of us can do, and really they don't take that much. But there's a couple of things that I always think that nobody can give except those of us who own it, and that's our time. And that comes to do things like volunteering in the program that we've talked about today.
I think that we've used the term child several times in who is invited to the Respite Night, but the word child is not, elementary school where we use the term child, but anybody that has a special need, they are invited to come, as well as their siblings. We want it to be a night for parents, single, to get whatever. We want it to be a night where parents can step out and breathe. And so we invite siblings as well, but that it is open to anybody with a special need. It's not just younger age kids.
So even if this was a teen or a young
Absolutely.
adult, they would still be welcome, provided they kind of meet the criteria that they have to have somebody with skill and training and knowledge of their disability.
Of course.
To be able to be left safely and securely
Yeah.
with someone outside the family.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And with our signups too, when people sign up online, we have them fill out a plan of care form. And what that does is it informs us of all of their disabilities, all of the behavioral problems that they might have, anything that they might need help with eating or using the restroom or anything like that. We get all of that information so that we are best prepared to be able to facilitate whatever we need to for that child. And there is no age on it. We love the older kids and the younger kids, all of them, they're all kids, we're all kids. And so we all just have a good time together. You'll see volunteers having just as much fun as the kids do. You see dancing, you see singing, you see making art, crafts, whatever, playing games. It really is just a fun, non-stop 3 hours of energy going on, and we love it just as much, I think, as the parents do. The stories we get back from parents when they come in of, wow, nobody has ever done this for us before, and nobody has thought of us this way before. Just the relief on their face to see that somebody just took 3 hours out of a weekend just to help them. It does it for us. I mean, it gives us the desire and the drive to want to keep on doing this.
And assuming that you have the volunteers turn out and so forth, what is your tentative schedule for how often you would like to do this?
Well, this is our 5th one.
So
this
you're
is
already,
we
you're already
yeah
got your feet
yeah
wet.
we did a couple in-house so that we could kind of get the kinks worked out, and then when we open our doors to the community, now we're ready. We want to do this every quarter, and we did all last year. Loved the scheduling of it and how it worked out, and we're going to continue to do that all throughout this year. So.
And I hear what you're saying about the volunteers enjoying themselves as much as the young people that were there as part of the program. And isn't that the way it always is? When we turn out for something and give of ourselves, don't we always get more back than what we've actually given?
For sure.
We want to thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
And anytime you want to come back and talk about your program, you're more than welcome. Thank you. See you later. Bye-bye.